Hey guys, just thought I'd come on and share a few thoughts I had about. Well, first of all, I suppose it's an apology because we won't be doing a final session of the SAGA Skybreaker campaign. That's generally it's due to the fact that over like over like New Year's, it's gonna be really hard for. What am I even saying? Oh yeah, basically, sorry, my head's all like full of broken biscuits at the moment. Basically today we were supposed to do the final session of the Skybreaker campaign, but due to one of the pivotal members not turning up, we couldn't do that. It's because it wasn't simply a normal session, it was the ending session, and one of the characters that turned up, I didn't turn up, sorry, was integral to the actual story. And also I'd spent quite a long time, you know, making this thing, and I couldn't redo it that quickly, you know, on the fly. My idea was to do that tonight and then it's finished, because that was going to be the final session, and then we've got more campaigns coming up next year, early next year. I've literally got no more time to do role-playing before the new year, because I'm going home to my family soon for Christmas. Next couple of days, I've got shit to do tomorrow and Thursday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I go home on Thursday, the 24th. Go home on Christmas Eve. I put my going home back for two reasons. Because I know going home from university on Christmas Eve is very late. Number one was it's a lot cheaper to go back on that date. Number two is because I knew I would be without a computer over Christmas, and I wanted to get Saga in at some point before I went back, and yeah, it's not gone ahead because somebody hasn't turned up again. So this whole campaign has been just filled with people not turning up and being late, and generally being uncooperative when it comes to when we're doing it, you know, and that's bad because I generally make the time. Yeah, I generally work around my schedule to fit in, you know, other people, and nearly every time I've said, look, we've got to do it on this date or that date, it's always changed, it's always been thrown up in the air, it's always been a last minute planning, and then people turn up 20 minutes to half an hour late for almost every session. And it's really hard to cancel a campaign at this stage because it's over 300 hours of my work, like, just thrown away. And looking at Saga itself, I mean, it's a world that I made when I was about 11 years of age, and it's evolved over time into being what it is today. It's unrecognizable from where it started, you know, and it hurts a lot to have to end a campaign this way. But I've really not been given a choice. Honestly, I can't. You know, I've got no more time. I literally cannot have this campaign going into next year because over the Fridays and Saturdays of next year we've got new campaigns starting up, and I simply won't have time during the week to do campaigns, and that's what I've said. Other people, every time I've tried to fit in a session this time round during the week, because people can't make the weekend, I've always been shot down because people want to go out drinking, and people want to go out with friends and stuff, and that's fine. But at the same time, I've tried to make it work. I've tried to fit people in where I can. I've cancelled my own plans. I've done everything that I can to get this thing finished and off the ground, and you know, it was even supposed to be 20 sessions, not 16. I lowered it to 16 because other people wanted to do other campaigns. So the only reason we're finishing it at Christmas is because other people wanted to. It's not because people said, when I was out discussing this with the party when we were all out with it, you know, the consensus was, yeah, we'd, you know, 20 sessions is a bit long. We'd like to do like 16 or something. No, 15. So I said 16 is a compromise. We'll do that, and here we are. It's pretty, you know. Sorry, if you don't know what this song is, actually, it's from the Witcher 3. It's called The Wolven Storm, and I don't know who it's sung by, but it's nice. I always thought it was nice anyway. So basically, yeah, this video is just an apology saying that we won't have a finale to the campaign, and which essentially makes everything that's happened up until this point null and void, because I don't really want to write my own conclusion to the campaign, because, you know, it cheapens it. It's not supposed to be my story. It's supposed to be a story that my friends are doing. You know, it's not for me to write the ending to the campaign. You know. So essentially, all that's happened in this campaign is non-canon now. It hasn't happened, which is a real shame. I just, yeah, feeling very let down and very empty at the moment. Also, doesn't help that I'm, you know, with me staying here, and I think it's annoyed me that much. I'm not really annoyed anymore. I'm just upset, but I think I'm upset because with me staying here to do this mainly, you know, the money was, sure, it would have been cheaper to go home on the 24th, but I could have gone home on the 23rd, or the, you know, but I wanted to keep them open just in case. But now I've got other things to do tomorrow and on Wednesday. I'm actually here on my own. Like, it's an empty house. I don't have central heating because I'd have to pay for it myself, so it's really fucking cold. The houses around me are all empty, north, south, east and west, for this block, because all the students have gone home. I'm literally here on my own. All of the players went home and they're with their families and they're having a lovely time, and I'm sitting here on my own, you know, can't rub two fucking 10 pence pieces together and not skinned, got no money. And yeah, I've made the decision to stay here mainly to get this done. And I didn't tell them that because that would have been a bit, you know, well, I didn't think there was any reason for them to know. I thought they were going to turn up, and it turns out that the person who didn't turn up actually didn't turn up because they simply just forgot, and they didn't bother telling me. So, you know, and that's not the first time it's happened. And do you know what? I feel like my hard work is just taking the piss out of. With SAGA this time around, it really has just taken the piss out of me and just throwing it away like it's nothing, like it's just, you know, it's just you know, it's just your campaign. It's not really, so yeah, that's about it really. I've not really got much else to say apart from I'm really sorry that there's not going to be a conclusion. If a conclusion does come around, you see, it's what people don't understand. They were like, well, can't we do it in the new year? And I said, well, no. One, because I have other campaigns to do. Two, because I have a ton of university work to do. Three, I've got a daughter who's going to be here quite a lot of the term next term. And four, you know, how much are you really going to remember of the campaign by then? After all because all the stuff that's happened in this campaign, it's a lot, you know? I put a lot of work into this, and there's a lot of twisting, turning little things that you will easily forget. And it won't be anywhere near as good as it should be. It's not. It certainly won't be anywhere near as good as it would have been if we'd have done it tonight. So, you know, and it would make no sense, because who's going to watch that? You know. I mean, I know most of my Saga videos on online YouTube get quite a few, well, not quite a few views, you know, compared to other YouTube channels, but I get about like 13, 14 views on some of them, and on my analytics page, they're always in the top 10 of the most watched things, and so people are obviously watching them all the way through. And I know my girlfriend can't watch all of them all the way through, because most of them she watches live, so you know, it would make no sense for those people, for people who want to watch it every week. You know, it's not fair on them to come back after a month and a half almost, because people couldn't be fucked turning up. I just think I just really wanted to finish it tonight, and I didn't actually think somebody wouldn't turn up. I didn't think they'd do that. I honestly didn't think tonight of all nights that they'd fuck me over like that. You know, whether they meant to or not, I honestly didn't think that they'd do that. And you know, because it's happened before, and I've been like, okay, you haven't turned up, or you're like an hour late. Okay, fine. And I felt a bit fucked over, but I left it because I was like, well, you know, it's fine. But on the final session, I mean, really, like the climax, you're gonna like just not turn up when you're that. It just words fail me, absolutely fail me. Because I know for a fact that if my family had wanted to do something with me now, I'd probably be like, okay, well, I've got RP to do, and I'd at least try and get it rescheduled. And if I'd have known that, I probably could have rescheduled or done something, anything to try and make it work. Even taking a later train home on Christmas Eve, which would have meant I would have gotten home incredibly late on Christmas Eve. But at least we would have gotten role playing done. I can't do it now because it's too late notice. You know, even if I'd have found out this morning, for instance, that you know, people wouldn't be turning up to the session, I could have gone and got my ticket redone and gone back later on Christmas Eve, which would have meant we could have done it on Wednesday night, on the 23rd. You know, but as it stands, I need to be up at like 8 AM, 7 AM on Christmas Eve day, and I'm not prepared to do a session like this the night before. I've got to be up that early. It's just not feasible, because it's going to be a long one. It'd be like 3 or 4 hours, you know. So, you know, and it's been like that throughout the whole campaign. And this is a world, honestly, that I've spent years creating, and I think it's worth living in. I think it's worth people taking it seriously, and when people don't turn up, and when people are late, and when people don't generally, you know, it just really hurts me that it's something that I've worked so hard on, people just dismiss. And people can say they're not doing that all they want, but I'm sorry, if you don't turn up and you don't even tell me that you're doing so, what kind of message does that send? And I would have been fine with people saying, listen, I've got family stuff on, or I've got this on, I've got that on, I've got things to do. Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. I would have changed it if I'd have known earlier on today. But as it's happened, I've brushed over all of my work today to get it done, and you know, it feels like I wasted my day, because even since I found out I wasn't going to be doing the session, I've just been really angry and upset all night. Like, I've literally just been sitting here really, really fuming. I've not been able to do anything, like play anything, or I can't write anything, because it'll just remind me of, you know, of role playing, and I'm gonna get fucking annoyed, and I've just wasted the entire night because somebody hasn't turned up again, and you know. And it isn't the same person every time, and that's the thing. It hasn't been the same person every time. It's been everyone in this campaign has at least done it twice. Has at least either not turned up or turned up really fucking late, obnoxiously late, and just gone, "Oh, sorry about that." Like it's nothing, and I'm like, well, I've written. Well, see, the process is when I write a session, it's done, and then when I start the session, that's it. I can't change it as we're going through because that's ridiculous. So when I balanced all the monsters and I balanced all the enemies and what you could face and what could happen, if you then don't turn up, I've got to rethink everything and rejig everything on the fly, or at least try to. And when they turn up like an hour late, I'm like, well, why are you turning up now? You know, it's just, you know, I'm just not prepared to do that anymore, and so. In future, if people are going to fuck me about like that, then they shouldn't play. All I ask for is a couple of hours a week. You know, that's all I ask for. Is 2 to 3 hours a week. You know, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, especially when you're a student. Because students can act like they've got a lot to do. They fucking don't, alright? You know, the only time they do is probably around summer, you know? But I'm sorry, but if people have been putting SAGA off to go out drinking and to go to like different socials and things like that, and I'm just like, you know what? If you're not going to give me the time, this has been coming for a while, you know? And for a while I've been saying, look, if you're not going to give me the time, the campaign might finish, because if I can't get the interest and I can't get the numbers, or you can't be asked turning up, or if you turn up late all the time, or if my campaign is put last on your priority list constantly all the time, why the fuck should I bother? Why should I bother? Because the campaign isn't last on my priority list. It takes me about 20 hours a week, because I do 2 sessions a week, like one in each. I do two sessions a week, so it takes me about 20 hours a week of my time. My spare time to go through and do all this for people, because I want them to have fun and I want them to have a good time. You know, because they're my friends and I want them to have a good time. But if people just aren't even going to turn up, or just turn up late constantly, it grates. And trust me, I was angry enough today that I could have finished the campaign, said no, we're not doing it anymore, and cancelled it, just dished out of spite. But then I cooled down and said, no, I should try and get this to work. So tomorrow I was even going to try. I actually have plans tomorrow. I'm packing up all my stuff, and then I've got to go see friends off and do other things. I get to see other human beings tomorrow, so I'm very excited for that. I've not for like 5 days because everyone's gone home. And yeah, I could have changed all of my plans tomorrow for like the umpteenth time. This would have been like, oh god, it must be like we've done 16, we've done 15 sessions, so at least 11 of them I'd say have been jigged around and thrown around and messed around so that they're not actually on the night where they're supposed to be on. And normally I schedule role-playing sessions when I don't have anything else on, and so whenever these sessions have been jigged around and messed around and placed in other places, it generally means my plans are being fucked up and thrown around and cancelled, so I can do role-playing for people. And so if I do that for people and then they just don't turn up, or they're late, you know, and this is before I've written all of this stuff, I'm sure you can understand my frustration why eventually I can't do this with SAGA anymore. It's been incredibly frustrating and upsetting tonight, and I hope you don't mind me going off on one, because it's helping quite a lot for me to just talk about it. But one thing I was thinking about doing instead is doing a complete history of different parts of the world and things. I started doing that, but then never finished it because we got going on the campaign. So yeah, I think that's about it. Let me just drink my tea. There will be another Saga campaign. I will tell you now, it's not going to be with these players. I can't, quite simply. If you don't put, I don't think my campaign should be the be all and end all. Far from it, but you should at least respect the amount of time that I have to put into these things, and turn up on time. And if you can't, I've always been one of these people, if you can't turn up, it's fine. You just give me notice and I can sort it out. Even if it's on the day, you say, shit, I've got no internet, or shit, I've got to do this instead. I mean, I'll be slightly miffed if you say I've got to do something else instead. Well, of course I will, unless it's like something serious. But, you know, I'll let it go. But just don't turn up like 45 minutes to an hour late, and don't not turn up at all, because it happened today, and this is the one, this last session, I kid you not, it's been about 20 hours on its own, like on its own this week, and I think I said something like 7 hours on stream. That's putting it lightly. That's 7 hours today and a little bit of yesterday that I worked on this, but now I've looked back on it, and it's a lot longer than that. It's from like Wednesday of last week. I've been constantly working on it, and to have people just not turn up and think that little of it. And people can say what they want and say, well, no, I don't think that little of it. No, we obviously do, because you didn't even deign it necessary to give me a quick call or whatever during the day to let me know. And, you know, people can say, well, I didn't know. And it's like, or my phone was dead. That was something else somebody said. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but make the time, charge your phone, or borrow someone else's, do something, but let me know. You know, you have a laptop right there. Just let me know. Just let me know. And I've always said that I will do another one. There will be another one. But it will be with another gang of misfits. And you know what? I'm just burnt out at the moment with role playing, because I've just been trying to make everything work for a long time, and even with Minerva, people have just stopped turning up. I'm starting to think whether it's me, whether I'm just not very good at this. No matter what people say, oh no, you're really good at it. It's like, well, if I'm really good at it, why aren't people turning up? Or, you know, I understand it's Christmas and things, but I can't remember the last time we had a full session where we had a full house at Minerva. You know, so that seems to be getting pushed to the bottom of people's to-do list as well, to be honest. And these are my settings. You got to understand, this isn't. I'm not playing these sessions in Baldur's Gate. I'm not playing these sessions in Faerun and Forgotten Realms. You know, I'm not playing them in Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, whatever. These are my settings, and when people don't turn up, it hurts. Obviously, if they got stuff to do, it doesn't, because that's fine. You know, life happens. But if people generally drop from sessions and don't turn up, or turn up late, one thing I have to say is, like, the American guys who play with us, they're always on time, and I really appreciate that. Like, they're literally always on time, and they're always very respectful of the setting, and they always turn up as well. Like, and if they're not going to turn up, which has happened, I generally get a message 2 to 3 days in advance. They're saying, look, I'm not going to be there this week, I've got this on, and I go, okay, and I rewrite the session and I rebalance it to accommodate them not being there, and I ask them what they're doing, and it's you know, so I don't know. I think people have taken it for granted for a long time. Maybe they needed this as a slap in the face wake up call to say I'm not going to be fucked around anymore, because I put too much effort into this and it takes too much time for me to be messed around constantly, and people not turning up, or people turning up when they want, or people, you know, generally being here late and thinking that it's nothing. It's not nothing. This means a lot to me, you know, and I think the worlds I create are okay, and you know, I generally get upset, and it knocks my confidence when people don't turn up and when people are late. So I hope I explained why we're not doing a finale, and I'm really sorry. I mean, no one's more sorry than me, trust me, because you know, I spent a lot of time on this last session. I poured a lot of energy and time into it, and now it's all gonna have to go in the bin, because even the next time we would be able to do it would be mid to late January, which is ridiculous. It's just, that means it's like a month and a half since we did our last session. So none of the players will remember what the hell's going on, because they'll probably remember the gist of it, but they won't remember like the ins and outs, you know, the real nitty-gritty politics of it. And that goes double for the viewers, because obviously they're not playing the game, they're just listening, and to be honest, after all that time, they don't deserve it. I know it was really hard for me to say, but they don't. They don't deserve me like putting it back again for a fucking month to get this done. I'm not doing it. No. I'd rather knock it all on the head and not do it than put it back for a month so that it gets in the way of another campaign. I can't do during the week next term because I have a lot of other things going on. You know, next term's the one where all the essays are. I've had quite a bit of work to do this term, but not as much as next one. That's a semester to American people. So again, I'm really sorry, and tonight I tried to get this session, as I said, done last week during the week. I tried to get it done. I initially set it I then set it to the Saturday and said, look, we're doing it on Saturday. Everyone was like, okay, fine. And then one player came back and said, I can't do Saturday now. This is like the day before. I can't do the Saturday because I have something else to do. I can't remember what it was. I said, okay, fine, I'll put it to the Sunday. Another player against me said, I can't do the Sunday because I have something to do. I said, fine. So I moved it again to the Monday, getting quite pissed off at this stage. I said, okay, well, we'll do it on Monday. And I said, but that is the last day. I literally can't push it back any further than that. I've tried to get it done over this week, the week before, you know, and you've not been able to do it because you've had things to do and drinking to do and friends to see, and that's fine. But Monday is the last day. I can't go any further than that, and if you don't turn up, the campaign gets cancelled because we don't have any other days to do it. I have plans Tuesday to Wednesday, and then I go home on Thursday. I'm in the United States visiting my lovely other half for a couple of weeks over New Year's, and then I'm back to Durham in mid-January, and we're starting new campaigns, and I've got university work to do, and it won't fit. This is the last day we can do it, and everyone understood that. And then one of the most important people in the campaign just didn't turn up and didn't even tell me that he was doing so. So there's nothing I can do. I've even tried to get it done tomorrow. I've said I would cancel my plans tomorrow completely to try and get this done, and another player said no. Fair enough, and this is not their fault, by the way. It's fair enough. They said no. You know, my dad's got me tickets to something tomorrow night, so I really can't bail on him, which is fine. You know, it's not a problem. It's not their fault. So that's it. You know, I've tried. I even swallowed my pride and said I'll do it tomorrow. Then I will fuck over my plans again for this campaign to get it across the line, and it can't be done. So I yeah. There's nothing really I can do because I'm really sorry. Again, it's no one person's fault in the group. It's just general life has got in the way for them every single time. I think the one time I will probably criticise the group, one thing I will criticise the group for is like this campaign has been resolutely last on everyone's agenda. So, and it's alright people saying, well, role playing's not a big deal, but it is to me because it's my world and it's my hard work. So, you know, so that's just how there is. So thanks for listening to me rant for a little while, and I'll speak to you guys later.